Hey guys, ShadowRock here. It's time for your Mega News Roundup for the week. Let's begin where we usually do, in the deep log. Chill Penguin's melon senses are tingling because he spots a couple waifus, and a husbando with melons too. That's right, it may be the middle of winter in the northern hemisphere, but Rockman X DiVE is rerunning the summer vacation for the Lord of Snowy Plains event once again. For the banner, we still have the swimsuit characters, Iris and Lair, but Festive Zero takes swimsuit Roll's spot, while Roll is currently undergoing some mental therapy from all the creepy things some people have said about her. Like, chill guys, it's just a one piece. Sarcastic humor aside, it seems the real reason this banner is happening is because all three of the characters in this banner have gotten a buff of some kind. You could also say this creates the perfect opportunity for the Japanese version players to catch up by being able to experience this event. Plus, it is summertime on the southern hemisphere, so it still works out in some way. And then there's the let's be perfectly honest reason. This is filler until they come up with new content. But hey, if you missed out on these characters, and Swimsuit Elia who is coming back as the reward for the event, now's your chance to try for them. But honestly, for me, I'm going to save my elemental medals. Are you? Let us know in the comments. Also, man, has it already been half a year since this event first dropped? Jeez Louise, time flies. Well, let's hope time flies even faster so we can see the release of something I've had a little bit of a hand in behind the scenes. If you guys enjoyed the Mega Man Robot Master field guide and enjoyed the extreme teases within, you're in for an excellent treat because here comes the Mega Man X Maverick Hunters field guide. We don't have an official image for the book yet, only a couple of leaked listings, so bear with us. Previewsworld.com claims the book comes out on August 4th, 2021, while Amazon claims it's coming out on August 17th, 2021, so yeah. This is all pending official announcement from Udon. But according to Amazon, the book will be $30 US, and the description tells us a little bit more about what we get for those hard-earned $30. The fan favorite Mega Man X games took the classic platforming franchise in a dynamic new direction. In this future world filled with conflict and strife, sentient artificial beings known as Reploids have grown in population. When rogue Reploids called Mavericks threaten humanity, the daring Maverick Hunters rise up to meet them. The Mega Man X Maverick Hunters Field Guide is your ultimate handbook to the Reploids of the 22nd century. Inside, you'll find detailed profiles of every dangerous Maverick, plus other important characters like X, Zero, Axel, Sigma, Vile, and many more. All packed within 176 whopping pages. So yeah, with this book, definitely expect some really detailed character profiles. A little bit of lore, what the characters are like, the weapons they use, their different forms if applicable, and more. Rockman X DiVE content on the other hand, maybe not this time, but I assure you the authors did take into consideration a couple of bits of information that X DiVE did provide. So for all intents and purposes, this is a definitive, all-inclusive guide on the various characters in the year 21XX. After all, the authors, as revealed by Amazon, are the same lovely couple that brought you the Mega Man Network. So you guys are in good hands for sure. Additionally, they're bringing on the Chamba for additional new artwork for the book. At least based on the Amazon listing and comments from Protodude. He said it, not me. Mega Man X Maverick Hunters Field Guide is coming out later this year in August. And if you guys want to pre-order the book ahead of time, it is $30 on Amazon right now. You can go ahead and click that pre-order button. Links in the description. Well, we were just talking about our good buddy Protodude, so let's see what he's been up to lately regarding the lost piece of Mega Man animation history that we talked about in a couple videos. First of all, mission accomplished everybody. The community did manage to pull the funds together, and the auction has been won. What Protodude and friends have obtained here are a few early animation cells of some kind of Mega Man animation project. What I'm about to say is not 100% confirmed because major research is still underway on these pieces right here, regarding what and where did these come from exactly. That being said, the popular theory is that we're looking at an early version of the Ruby Spears Mega Man cartoon that aired during the 1990s. In a 1993 promo video about the Ruby Spears cartoon, you could see that the animation style was very close to the Rockman Upon a Star OVA that aired the same year as this promo video did, remaining faithful to the original video game source material, and featuring popular robot masters like Brightman. Wait a minute, let's take a listen to that again.
Brightman with his blinding flashes of light.
No, they definitely said Brightman. Well guys, that's his name now, it's Brightman. No contest, it's set in stone, man. Anyway, as you can see, this artwork here does sort of bridge the gap between the Ruby Spears 1993 promo and the finalized cartoon that we eventually got. Yes, the Americanized one with the big muscles and American hero stuff and the plasma power. Heck, even President Lincoln makes an appearance. But before they got to that very Americanized cartoon, it looks like this was their attempt at trying to keep a little bit of the anime style while heading closer towards the final design they decided upon. Not gonna lie, I would have liked this look a lot had they kept it. Although, I gotta say, Protoman looks cursed, and Dr. Light just looks like a stoner, man. Okay, that wasn't intentional this time, I swear. But hey, speaking of, that's one of the main reasons why this may very well be an early Ruby Spears incarnation. Because the prominent bad guys here are Cutman, Gutsman, and Protoman, which you may remember were the trio that appeared in every single episode. Protoman being on Wily's side was also notable at the time because, as we know in the games, he only really helped Wily like once or twice. So the fact that we see Protoman hanging with Wily here and firing at Mega Man with the same Buster visual effect you would often see in the Ruby Spears cartoon, that definitely adds a bit of credence to the whole theory. Maybe it's because of the animation style, but the shots with Mega Man versus the trio and the shots with all the characters together really gives me some Mega Man 8 vibes, which I like a lot. I like the Mega Man 8. There's more information about specific details where that came from as well, and of course, like I said, more research is being done, so we will find out more about this as time goes on. If you want to read all about the preliminary findings though, check out the Rockman Corner article about this.
Here comes a new challenger!
So we were fixing to put this video out the door, but literally 1 hour ago as I record this, we apparently found the guy who drew the artwork in the first place. This comes from Nobuyoshi Habara, an artist that worked at Ashi Productions at the time of this artwork. Ashi Productions was also in charge of the Upon a Star anime and helped with the Ruby Spears cartoon itself, so seems like we were on the right track for the most part. However, it appears the artwork we're looking at does not have any relation to Ruby Spears actually. As Habara explains in an interview with Protodude, this picture was drawn for the planning of Ashi Productions' new TV animation series for Japan, probably around 1992. Which would mean these images do predate the 1993 Ruby Spears promo that we were talking about. Interesting. This animation series was only temporarily named Rockman at the time. However, these images were merely a pitch, and the powers that be made the call not to greenlight this project. As Habara explains, the project stopped at this stage, so it's sounding a lot like they didn't really get very far with this animation project. These images you see are all we're gonna get pretty much. Habara went on to elaborate a little bit more on his Twitter account, albeit in Japanese, so bear with us because this is gonna be a rough translation. It is said that a picture drawn for planning nearly 30 years ago still exists in the United States in an excellent state of preservation. I drew it just to create a proposal, so I thought it wouldn't be visible to the public. Life is amazing. It's true that Rockman, which I drew for the first time, was a picture for planning a new program, and that project stopped. But after that, production started as a TV animation Mega Man in the United States. I was in charge of the opening content, direction, and drawing. I think it was 1993 or 1994. And yeah, that does sound about right, doesn't it? So while we didn't get this cool Mega Man anime, As Habara touched on, I like to think it all still led to the Ruby Spears Mega Man cartoon in the end, as Ashi Production was still heavily involved with the cartoon after this point. The main distinction being this was an idea that was originally for the Japanese audience before it became an Americanized cartoon. But yeah, this is a really interesting look into what could have been, and I think it is fascinating that they had ideas like Proto Man being one of the main antagonists way back before the Ruby Spears cartoon became what we know it to be today. Do you guys wish this Mega Man anime actually happened? Let us know in the comments, and thank you Habara-san for sharing this information, and of course to Proto Dude for finding this artwork and bringing it to light. But we're not done here with lost pieces of animation history, oh no. The second half of the Rockman Corner article talks about an OVA that has since been lost to time. Everyone knows and loves the Upon a Star OVA, but what if I told you there was another educational Rockman OVA? This one was roughly titled, Do Your Best Rockman, Beware Fire and Earthquakes, and it actually predates the Upon a Star OVA. This animation only contained one episode, and after it aired it seemed to have been lost to time forever. For the longest time, there was questions about whether this OVA even existed, because the only mentions of it were from Japanese fans on forums that actually remembered it, but no other evidence otherwise. Which is why we even had the whole talk about preservation in our other video. This stuff is important. Like, imagine that you remember this one show that came on one time, but you look online, you look everywhere, you can't find any evidence that it ever existed. And then you start thinking to yourself, was it just all a dream? Did I just imagine all of that? Well, those fans don't have to wonder anymore because we do finally have evidence that this thing existed. Thanks to a recent auction on Mercari.com featuring a coloring activity book about Do Your Best Rockman, Beware of Fires and Earthquakes. You can't make this stuff up, guys. That a coloring book is the only evidence that a OVA actually existed. But sure enough, we have original artwork, and most importantly, we have actual screenshots on the book of what this OVA looked like. To the recollection of some Japanese fans, this educational OVA would have been just like the Upon a Star OVA, in that Rockman comes out of the video game and proceeds to rescue the boy in the screenshots here from fires and earthquakes. Along the way, the boy does learn safety tips for surviving fires and earthquakes. Like I said, very educational. It's pretty crazy that 1, this exists, 2, nobody's really seen it in decades, and 3, our only look at it is a couple of screenshots on a coloring book. Now, said coloring book was bought via the auction. We don't know who it was, but hopefully whoever did might be willing to share some of what was on the book. Maybe? You never really know these things, unfortunately. I wouldn't go far as saying finding this animation would be like the holy grail or anything, but it would be pretty wild if it did show up one day. After all, even though it is an educational program, it's still a Mega Man animation. That's pretty cool. Hopefully we learn more about this, and heck, may even get to watch it one day. But for now, enjoy the screenshots, I guess. But continuing on the theme of old stuff being dug up, here's Mega Man 04 composer Shinichi Itakura, who just uploaded the original demo for the Falling Down track from the game. Which, slight spoilers, Falling Down is the final boss theme for 04. This first demo for Falling Down was created on December 8th, 2004. Which points to this song being composed 4 months before Mega Man 04 finally launched in Japan on April 21st, 2005. Typically in video game development, music isn't 100% set in stone until towards the end of development, so this timeline does make sense to me. Here's a few words from the man himself from the video description. When I was cleaning out my old hard disk drive, I found some old song data. There was a sound source at that time that I was involved in composing. I didn't think there was a demo audio mix left. I am glad that many people have covered the performance of Falling Down. I would like you to listen to the original phrase. And indeed, he's referring to the many fan remixes of Falling Down. And from what I hear, he's a pretty chill guy who is always thankful for the fans' interest in his work. So thank you, sir, for the awesome music and showing us this rare piece of development history. As I say, rock on. He does mention he may remove the video if something goes wrong, so if you want to listen to the original mix yourself, it is in the description below. To end things off, here's 2 more announcements from the merchandising department. First up is an oddity, a Mega Man cable guy holder. This thing is set to launch in spring 2021, and just like the name of the company, Cable Guys, this little blue bomber is designed to hold your smartphones, remotes, controllers, maybe your Nintendo Switch, maybe you can have him display something from your Mega Man collection, and hey, cables, it's in the name. There's not much other information to go around, but these Cable Guy products tend to go for 30 bucks and come with a USB cable so you can charge your stuff. The official website link is in the description below if you want to see more from them. And lastly, you may remember that awesome art exhibit featuring Capcom characters versus Astro Boy creator Osamu Tezuka characters. That exhibit is set to end on February 23rd, but fear not, because it has been announced that an Artbook is on the way. As the Fukan listing states, while covering the contents of the exhibition, this book contains a lot of rare materials such as the main arts of Capcom games, game development plans, valuable original drawings and rough sketches of Osamu Tezuka, unused manuscripts, animation scripts, etc. In addition, is a complete preservation version that summarizes the charm of the characters of Capcom and Osamu Tezuka works, by adding interviews and illustrations related to Capcom and Osamu Tezuka by Yusuke Nakamura. The book will be split into 5 sections. Round 1 will contain the main art and the opening greetings. Round 2 contains a Capcom chronology, Tezuka Osamu chronology, and introductions for the 9 creators behind the exhibit. Round 3 has the collaboration artwork itself, most notably the Rockman vs. Astro Boy art by Keisuke Mizuno, who as we know works on the X series, as well as Tsunogai from Tezuka Productions. Round 4 has a gallery for both companies, and an original 4-panel Blackjack vs. Ace Attorney manga by Mr. Tsunogai. Now that is the type of content I'm here for. Round 5 wraps up with a Capcom interview, Tsunogai interview, and Yusuke Nakamura interviews and illustrations. Now to address the elephant in the room, of course this is Japanese exclusive for now, but the book is set to come out in April 2021 in Japan, and until this book shows up in other regions, if you want to get on the pre-order hype train, it is going to cost you 2,750 yen, which is roughly $27, via the Fukan link in the description below. As a bonus, you also get a A5 print of the Rockman vs. Astro Boy artwork by Keisuke Mizuno. Neat! Bear in mind, however, that Fukan does not ship outside of Japan, so you're gonna have to use an importing service to do this. Regardless, I'm just happy that amongst all the talk of lost pieces of Rockman history and preservation, that this art exhibit is going to be preserved in an official form. Always great news to hear. And that will wrap it up for today's Mega News Roundup. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and for more on all things Mega Man, stay tuned to ShadowRockZX. Until next time, rock on, and have a great day that even a coloring book will remember. Okay, that made no sense. Take care, guys.